the channel, guys. This is Matt Carter, me and my beautiful wife Veronica go to garage sales, thrift stores, and the Goodwill bins like today to find things, hopefully, to resell on eBay. We had some crazy good Lego scores recently. I'm hoping that luck continues today, so fingers crossed. Let's go and see what they have. So at the beginning of the day, there really wasn't much for us to pick, but that's okay because this was the best day we've ever had at the Goodwill bins, at least for a single item. And you're gonna see what that item is if you actually clicked on the video. And also you'll see it in the video later on, and you'll see the entire haul at the end of this video.
Yeah, and a bag full of Lego Duplo here. That's not bad. Decent score for the day right away, so we're gonna put this in the bag. Yeah, all baby toys here for the first toy bin of the day. So we're gonna wait over here and hope that the next one's locked up.
The next bin that came out was filled with picture frames, so not much better than the baby's toys that were in the crates beside us. So we ended up going back to them to see if there's anything in there, but really it was just baby toys. But that's okay, still one of the best days because of all the stuff we get later on. Next bin out was a clothing bin, and I could have sworn I saw something that could potentially be North Face, and that's exactly what we pull in this bin.
So we ended up getting two clothing items. We got a nice Galloway Golf zip up here. It's women's. It's not bad. Very white, clean though. And we also got a North Face. Looks like they're either rain pants or snow pants. Feel more like rain pants, but a little bit dirty. But if we clean these up, this would probably be like $60 or $70 pair of pants, so not bad at all. So that was a much better clothing bin than I even thought. I ended up grabbing a pair of overalls here. These are Carhartt. Unfortunately, they are not men's. They're actually for kids, but still, these will sell on eBay or Poshmark for sure. Very, very good brand to be on the lookout for. Definitely a BOLO item, so this is going into the cart as well today.
The next bin out was media, and I saw a ton of DVDs, but you know what? Where there's DVDs, there could potentially be video games, and we do actually find some video games in these bins, which I'll show you now.
So everyone missed these games because they're hiding at the bottom of a bin. So we have Dungeon Siege, Throne of Agony. Unfortunately, it's actually Need for Speed, but maybe I'll be able to sell this on its own just as a replacement case. So Fairly Odd Parents, Shadow Showdown, and it's actually, well, not 100% complete, no manual, but it's got the game with it as well. That's pretty sweet. Muppets Party Cruise here for PlayStation 2. It doesn't have the manual, but it does come with the game. We have Disney Stitch Experiment 626 right here, complete with manual. Unreal. We also have Robots here. Obviously a decent game here as well to pick up, complete. Enter the Matrix for GameCube, and it has the disc. Disc 2, unfortunately. The disc 1 is missing, it appears, which is a huge shame because GameCube stuff is really good to come by. And then we also have Simpsons Hit and Run, case only, unfortunately. We also have Ape Escape, Pumped and Primed, case only, unfortunately. But then we actually have the Simpsons Skateboarding, and this one actually is not fully complete, but it comes with the game, no manual. So pretty awesome score here that was hiding in the bins, and no one found this.
Another toy bin came out, but this one was way more promising than obviously the media bin that we just had and the baby's toy bin previously. I was unlucky, unfortunately. I couldn't really pick a spot. The bin in front of me was not promising, so I moved around, and unfortunately that led to me getting really nothing in my hands. However, my wife did a little bit better than I did.
All right, well, that toy bin was horrible for me. My wife actually ended up getting some stuff. I was kind of cut off from any of the good bins, so we found a 1993 Bandai Power Ranger here, and then 3 vintage turtles from the 90s, so that was really good.
The next bin to come out was another media bin, which had GameCube games. And unfortunately, some of them had to go back. The person who was beside my wife tried to grab early, so some of the games had to go back in, unfortunately, but we were still able to grab some games, which you're going to see right here.
So, I ended up grabbing 2 GameCube games from a toy bin that came out, Unreal score. Unfortunately, some of the games had to go back because someone tried to grab early, and then it turned into some drama, so unfortunately, this is what happens when you have GameCube games that are visible in the bins. It does create some tension and some aggression, which is very unfortunate, but I'm going to give you a more detailed breakdown of what actually happened at the end of the video, but nonetheless, not bad. Harvest Moon, Magical Melody, and Big Mother Truckers. So we did get more crates full of media. Found an anime DVD here, Card Captor Sakura, Unreal Tournament 2004, Guitar Hero Smash. And we also got a Army of Two. My wife actually got some stuff too. I'll show you at the end of the video.
And at the time of editing this video, that Guitar Hero Smash Hits game already sold for $40 on eBay. Definitely one of the Guitar Hero games to be on the lookout for, because this one's way more expensive than I thought it was.
Alright, so probably the best video game score of our life at the bins. We found Kirby the Crystal Shards, complete in box with manual. And if you guys don't know, this is easily a $250 game Canadian. Some people have it listed for over $300. And the reason why it's so expensive is because people would throw out these cases all the time because they just saw the hard cartridge and they didn't really need the protection of the case, unlike a CD. So a lot of these are gone. So the fact that we're finding one that's complete in box, obviously not sealed, but still complete in box, is the find of a lifetime for us at the Goodwill Bins. It's unbelievable. Definitely the score of the day and the score of our life so far at the Goodwill Bins. And it's an early life at the Goodwill Bins. We're eventually going to keep coming more often, and maybe we'll actually beat this one day. But for now, best score we've ever had.
Okay, we're back at home with the best haul I think we've ever had at the Goodwill Bins to date. Unbelievable score, but first I want to talk about what actually happened, because a lot of stuff I wasn't filming because I didn't have my GoPro on me. I was filming my cell phone. A lot of times I need both hands to pick, so I'll put my cell phone away. If I show the bins coming out, I'll film that, and I'll kind of show the aftermath. Sometimes I'll pick with one hand, but for the most part, I like to have two hands when I pick, especially good bins. There's a ton of good toy bins and media bins today, including clothing bins. We got some great scores to show you guys. But before I do that, I want to talk about what happened earlier in the day, because there was some drama. First time I've ever been involved in any sort of drama at the Goodwill Bins, and what happened was there was a bin that had a ton of GameCube games in the bin that everyone could see. It was very visible, and me and my wife were right across from each other when it came out. And then another gentleman who's like, I call him like our arch enemy at the Goodwill Bins, because he's the only other guy who really goes for a lot of vintage toys and a lot of the same stuff we like. He's like one of the only people that really hunts for that stuff as well. So he goes over my wife's shoulder and he starts looking at the games, and he's just pointing at them like, I need one, I want one, that one's mine. And he's not even in front of the bin. And of course he points to the most expensive game, which is a Mario Kart Double Dash. And it's like, yeah, that's over $100. You're not getting that, and you're not in front of the bin. This is probably gonna be our score here. So he just kept like kind of coming around. Then he'd go to my wife's other shoulder and he just kept pointing at like games and like, I want this one, I need to have this one. So you don't need to have anything. If I grab something, my wife grabs something, and then if you can come in on the, at the other side, soup bin, grab it, that's fine. So there was 2 bins, and you have to wait for 3 bins before you can start picking any of these games. So when the 3rd bin was right about to come, all I hear is, I'm looking there, and all I hear is, don't grab early, don't grab early. I was like, what the heck? And I look, and he's already went to go grab, so I had to grab the games right in front of me, because he was gonna snatch the games that are right in front of me when he was not even anywhere near them. And then of course, they had to come out from the back, and they got those games that we had in our hands, and they brought it back. However, they missed a few games that were in there, like Harvest Moon, which I actually ended up getting in a few other games. So when the actual bin came out, finally, when we were able to start picking, I grabbed it and he grabbed the same one at the same time. He ripped it out of my hands, and everyone was just kind of like, what is going on? They've never seen anything like that happen recently. So unfortunately, it was a bad situation to be a part of. That drama, it went, and it is what it is. It does happen at the Goodwill Bins. If you're gonna be at the bins like more than a few times a week, you're probably gonna be involved in some form of an altercation or an argument or something like that. And unfortunately, that day was today for me. However, we still ended up getting some games there, and those same games were brought out later on. I didn't get a lot of those games, but I did find some other really good games, and one of them was the video game score of my life, and my goodness, was it ever good. You already saw it, and you know what it is. That is the Kirby game for N64, complete in box. But now let's talk about everything that we actually got today at the Goodwill Bins. Tons of vintage clothing here. So we have an old Manchester United jersey. I think this is from like the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Vodafone as their sponsor, that's how you can kind of tell. 2 awesome hats here. One is vintage, made in Korea, Winnipeg Jets. This is actually probably from the early 90s, late 80s. A nice Vancouver Canucks hat, NHL logo on the side here. This is Mitchell and Ness. I don't think it's super vintage, but it's still a really, really cool hat. Very, very cool snapback. If you're in Canada, stuff like this will sell. In the States, it might be a little more difficult. Now we have a starter Tigers jersey here. I only grabbed it because I saw that it had the starter logo there. It's not really vintage, but I still think it's a really good score and might be worthy of posting on Poshmark. Carhartt. I freaked out when I had this. Unfortunately, not as good as I thought originally. It's it's still Carhartt and it's still overalls. However, these are for kids, so they'll still sell, just not as fast and not as much as obviously a men's overalls for Carhartt. It's a good brand in general, but look, as you can see here, this is like for 10 to 12. Like if I was wearing this, there's just no way, right? There's just no way. So still a really cool brand. And then we got a vintage single stitch tee here, a really cool bomber jacket here.
Cannons. This is actually a baseball team from Calgary in like the 80s and 90s, I believe. Really cool here. It's actually my size. It probably will sell on Pocket Rack between like $50 to $100. It does have a name here, but you know, we could just kind of just forget about that because it's so vintage. It'll still sell. If it doesn't sell within like a month, I'm okay keeping this. This is actually really sweet looking jacket here. Really cool bomber. Love the colors on here, really vibrant. Now we have a Galloway, a sports jacket here. My wife picked this up early in the day. Not bad. This is a Master Staff Professional golf jacket, really cool. We also have a vintage floral sweater here made by Jackie Mills, unique and original wearable art, really cool. And we also got a Levi's vest here, huge, double XL. This will definitely sell. Levi's is always good to look out for, especially like any of the jean jackets. Now let's get into the stuff that I like the most. Actually, before we do that, my wife did find some UGG boots, and she also grabbed a Vans fanny pack here. We do toy shows every once in a while, so this is probably something good for, you know, holding your money at a toy show. So toys, not many of them, more video games than toys. My wife actually grabbed 3 vintage Ninja Turtles. She also grabbed a 12-inch Bandai Power Ranger. This is the Pink Ranger from the 90s. Not bad at all. I grabbed this thinking it was better than it was. Fortunately, the tail is gone, but it is a vintage Generation 1 pony made in Hong Kong. That's how you can tell it's vintage. I also grabbed a vintage Pikachu plush. It's actually one of the ones that you can attach to your car. I don't know. Honestly, it's got some stains, but it's probably about $5 to $10, either locally or online. Go wash it, and definitely good to look out for a Pokemon plush. Now we got a Card Captor Sakura. It is complete in box, which is not bad. Honestly, if you see anything anime, if it's a DVD or a Blu-ray, it's definitely better to pick these up than like a regular DVD or Blu-ray, unless it's like a season, which we do actually have something like that right now. I'm going to show you here, X-Men Quadrilogy. It's sealed Blu-ray collection here. This will probably be at least minimum $25, all the way up to maybe $40, because this is brand new sealed. Now the video games, holy cow did we score. Oh my god, as you guys can see right now, this was at the Goodwill bins. This is better than going to Goodwills or even garage sales. Some of the scores we had today, and we only spent $25 on everything. And there was actually one North Face pair of pants that we actually gave to a friend at the bins. You might have seen it earlier in the video. It's just something that we don't sell a ton of clothing, and my wife lists it, and she doesn't want to list it, then it goes to Biggie. That's just the way it goes right now for us. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, Unreal, complete in box, easily $250, sold comps all day. If you have it in box, these are so rare now. Everyone just threw these out, so to have it complete in box is an actual freaking amazing score. I was almost shaking when I picked this up because I couldn't believe what I had, especially when I grabbed it and I felt that there was some weight to it, and I was like, holy cow, guys, are you serious? Manual and game still inside. Unreal. Now, we have some interesting games here. We have a Russia with Love. I don't know why I grabbed this actually. I meant to put this back. It's only like an $8 game. Same as this one, PlayStation 3 Army of Two. This one surprised the hell out of me though. Smash hits. It's the case is a little bit damaged, but we have so many replacement cases for Wii that doesn't really matter. I'll just replace the case. But this game, be on the lookout for this Guitar Hero. It sells between like $40 to $60 pre-owned Canadian. So really good score considering, it's Guitar Hero. No one's gonna notice this if this is worth that much money. They're just gonna pass on it. No one grabbed it. So it was there for the picking. We also have Enter the Matrix here. Unfortunately, it's only got the one disc, so still I could probably sell this as just the case and this one game for maybe $20. We have Need for Speed Most Wanted, complete with manual and game, Unreal. We have Big Mother Truckers, another one that's complete with game. We have Need for Speed Underground 2, complete as well from the Goodwill bins. We have another complete game, Super Mario Sunshine Player's Choice, complete with manual. We also grabbed this just because I might need it for a replacement case at some point, because obviously the cases say Nintendo GameCube, so it's kind of important to grab these if you end up finding like games out in the wild at like a garage sale or even the Goodwill bins, so not bad. And then we also have Animal Crossing here, another one, unfortunately missing the game. It does have a Nintendo GameCube cartridge here, the memory card, and it does have the manual here and some cards in the back. I'm not really sure what those are for. Might be for e-reading, but regardless, pretty cool. And we also found The Simpsons Skateboarding here. Fortunately, it's missing its manual, but it does come with this game. Not bad at all. We also have Disney's Stitch Experiment 626, complete with manual.
we have this is just the case for this game, Dungeon Siege Throne of Agony. Unfortunately, it is another game here, Need for Speed Carbon, kind of odd. We also have Ape Escape Pumped and Primed. Unfortunately, it's just the case. We also have Hit and Run, very expensive game. I was excited when we first picked this up. If this would have been complete, it would have been like $50 to $60 all day. Unfortunately, it is just the case. We ended up finding this one as well. My wife actually found this in the good old bins. Super Mario Brothers for Wii. And yes, the game is actually in there, so kind of a cool score. Sells for around like $30 Canadian. We have Robots here, complete with manual for the PlayStation 2. We also have Fairly Odd Parents Shadow Showdown. It's funny, we actually found a Fairly Odd Parents game a few weeks back as well, so it's interesting that we keep finding Fairly Odd Parents games, but this one has the game, unfortunately, no manual. And we do have Muppets Party Cruise here. This one is also in there, unfortunately no manual as well. So I have to say, all in all, it was one of the best days at the, well, it was the best day, I should say, for us at the Good Old Bins. And I think this might be the first day where we go close to the $1,000 price point for the day. I don't know if it's quite $1,000, but I'd say for like Canadian dollar, at least $750 from the day. I swear it's gotta be at least $750. Unreal day. So many GameCube games, so many clothing items, so many toys, just an unreal day all around. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, guys, remember, may your carts always be full.